Yang jadi bukan biji orang betul mesti gina orang memang mandi di mana orang kini terus kini dia mereka berkurun deh. Ya,
Good morning, everyone. Please, can you confirm that you can hear me?
Good morning.
Okay. So, good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us for the second day of this data analysis Excel for intermediate users training. Appreciate your punctuality and commitment for the to enhancing your skills. So, before we begin, I'd like us to give few minutes so that others will be able to join us. So it's important that everyone is there. So as to be covering key concepts that build on what we've learned yesterday. So thank you for the patience. We'll get started shortly, and I promise it to be a valuable session. Thank you very much.
Hi, good morning. Good morning. I'm audible enough. Thank you. Good morning. Thank
I
you.
hear you loud and clear.
Okay.
I hear you.
So we only have 10 participants here. So should we go ahead? Should we start, or should we give other participants 3 or 4, 5 minutes?
Yeah, let's just hold on for them, like 5 minutes. Or maybe they might be engaged with other official activities, so they will be joining us too.
Okay.
Mr. Bugan, please kindly confirm that you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you clearly.
We can hear you.
Yeah, okay. So do we have sufficient number of people for us to start this training?
So do we have what?
Like sufficient amount of people for us to start this training? Because I can see like
Yes.
50 of us.
So that's like
Yeah.
21 people. So this is 10:11 already. So we can start. So good morning, everyone.
Yeah, hold on, please.
Okay.
Okay, so good morning, everyone. I'm excited to welcome you all to the day 2 of this data analysis exam for intermediate users training. So I hope you all enjoyed yesterday's session, and I as well found it beneficial. So today we'll build on what we learned and dive deeper into some of the more complex functionalities of Excel. So
I'm telling you, you pay twice.
please kindly mute your mic.
I'm sending you.
Okay, so thank you very much. So like I said, we explore advanced techniques such as utilizing advanced lookup functions and mastering pivots and tables in a greater depth. So these skills are crucial not only for improving your efficiency, but also for empowering peers to make informed data-driven decisions that are vital to our operations at Ped Electric. So I encourage you to actively participate throughout today's session. So feel free to ask questions, share your insights, collaborate with your peers. And I would like you to remember that this training is not just about acquiring knowledge. It's also about fostering a supportive learning environment where we can all go together. So let's make um, today's training a successful one, and I look forward to seeing each of us, each and every one of us, um, learning in this data analysis skills. Thank you for your commitment, and I would like us to start the training now. So, Mr. Abujani, kindly confirm that I can hear you.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
I'm not so sure that I feel because
Yeah. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Engineer Mpa. Good morning, Madam Ruth. Good morning, Madam Blessing. Can you all hear me?
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So where did we stop?
Good morning.
On Wednesday.
Good morning.
I think we stopped. Yeah, that's one of our ears. So can someone just give us a brief explanation of the if statement? What does the if do? Just one person. Quick one.
I'm aligned in some respect. What I see now is the 1, 2, 3. I know that. But the question you asked
So that we are all afraid to say one or two things.
Okay.
Or should I just call names so that at least we know that we are all following along. So if statement, what does it mean? What does if does for us?
Okay, you said the if statement allow us to make comparison between two things. For instance, probably to say probably a true or a false statement. It's if allow us to compare, okay, if this is not this, then it is this. That is what the if statement allows us to do.
Okay, so if allows us to test for a value. So if that value is true, we will specify what it should do for us. If it is not true, we specify what it will do for us. So the last example we did in class was we're given a goal that if our revenue is greater than 40,000 and less than 45,000, we should have growth. And if the revenue is greater than or equal to 45,000, it's exceptional. And the rest is poor. So in this scenario, we made use of AND function, which is a logical function. And what AND does is for you to have an output for AND, then all your tests must be true if you want to use AND. So let's say I have A and B. So let's say I have A and B, and I have my output. So if you are trying to use AND, so if you do not meet the first criteria and you do not meet the second criteria, it means you won't have an output. If you do not meet the first criteria and you met the second criteria, you will not have an output. If you meet the first criteria and you do not meet the second criteria, then you won't have an output. If you meet the first and you meet the second criteria, then you would have an output. Mr. Defisaya, your hand is raised.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, colleagues. If somebody's mic is open, can that person off the mic so that we can hear clearly?
Okay. So is it okay now?
Yes, okay now.
Okay, good.
Yes, it's better.
Thank you very much. So if you're trying to use AND, so it means all your criteria must be met before you would have an output. So the first must be true, the second must be true before you have an output. Even if it is 3 inputs and you meet one, you do not meet one, meet one, then this. All the criteria must be met before you would have an output. That's when you are using AND. But if it is or, as soon as you meet one of the criteria, then you would have an output. So in this case, we have escape. In this case, so we have been given a criteria that it has to be greater than 40,000 and it has to be less than 45,000. So if you say, oh, let's try to know if equals and, the first criteria says, is this greater than 40,000, comma. The second one is this less than 45,000? You can see it's telling us false. If you fill this down, then you can see that we have true. True, 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 false, false, false. That's because this is not greater than 40,000 and it is less than 45,000. So it only met one criteria. It did not meet the second criteria. But now we are also given another condition. If it is greater than or equal to 45,000, which makes it two conditional. But since we already know we have and, that will do a true or false for us. So we said, oh, let's put this inside our if statement so that we won't need to stress ourselves doing it manually. So then we say, okay, equals if, then what is the test value? We'll say and. Please come and run a test for me. Is this revenue collected? Is it greater than 40,000? That's the first thing. Comma. Is this same revenue collected? Is it less than 45,000? That's the second criteria. So we are through with that. So any output that this and will give us, then we can now say, oh, what we're told is, if it meets this criteria, what should it do for us? We're told that to say good. So we'll say, oh, if you meet this criteria, let me say good. Then comma. Now value if false. We have been given another value to test that if this is greater than or equal to 45,000, then we can now bring in another if to say, oh, help me check it again. If the value I have here is greater than or equal to 45,000. If it is true, what should you do for me? I want you to say exceptional. Exceptional. If not, then you should tell me it is poor. So if you look at this now, the first argument, which is greater than 40,000 or less than 45,000, it has to be good. We have used our and to do that for us. Then the second one is, if it is greater than or equal to 45,000, it is exceptional. Otherwise, it's poor. So if we fill this down, then we should have our results. So do we understand this before we move a bit further? Mr. Arifusai, your hand is raised.
Thank you, sir. Okay, if we don't lock the H43, what if we don't lock it? What will happen? assuming we just put less than 40,000.
Okay. Let's just copy out the formulas. And you'll see what will happen. So in the last class, we made mention of cell reference. So let's say for this function F4, 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 we did not lock this function F4, F4, F4. We did not lock this also. And we did not lock this also. Good. Then we hit our enter. You can see we have 4 for the first cell. As soon as we drag this down, you can see that we have exceptional, which means if you come to the next cell and you put it on edit mode to see, you can see that what we have here, our 32,000 is looking it against 45,000, and another cell has moved downward, which is 45,000 and 0. If you do not lock your cell. So as you are moving a step down, this also will be moving a step down. I hope you understand it. Mr. Refisayo, I hope you understand the logic now.
Yes, clearly now, sir.
So that's for this. So now I want to move it a bit higher. We should look at the real life scenario. Look at the way our performance are calculated. Or let's say you have over 500 staffs and you want to categorize their performance. You can also use the if statement. So we have been told that, if your performance is within a particular range, then this is what your category would fall under. So if your performance is within this range, it is further checks required. If it is within this range, you need to be closely monitored. If it is 91 and above, you're exceptional, and 71 to 90, that's satisfactory. So we want to categorize all these. So first, how are we going to get our performance? If you have given someone a target of this and someone has an actual of this, how are we going to do the performance?
We divide the actual by the target.
Thank you very much. So we have equals the actual against the targets. So we have the performance. So we can fill this down. Che, am I correct? So now the next is for us to now categorize it. So now let's start. Equals what? Equals if. So anything less than 51 or anything less than or equal to 50 should be what? Further checks. So I can say if what I have here is less than or equal to 50%, I want you to give me further checks required. I'll say give me further checks required. I can also try to reference it. Further checks required. Let me fix that. Good. Comma. If false, I'll say, I still want you to perform another check for me. I'll say, if comma every check for another thing again. I'll say, I know what I want to check is 2 values. You have to be greater than something and you have to be less than something. So in this case, you have to be greater than 50. And you have to be less than 71. That will give us between the range of the 51 to 70. So I'll say, and help me check if this performance is it greater than 50%, and check again if this performance is it less than 71%. 71%. So these are scattered for the 51 to 70. If this is true, what do I want you to do for me? I want you to say closely monitored. I still have another one that I want you to check for me. Then I can say, oh, Mr. If I'm not true, help me run another check again. Help me check if this performance. Then I'll say, oh, and I have two things to check. Let me check if this performance I have here, is it greater than or equal to 71%? 71%, comma. And I'll say, oh, are you less than 91? I'll say, let me check if my performance is less than 91%. My hand will do that for me. If that is true, what do I want you to do for me? I want you to tell me satisfactory. Otherwise, if you do not meet any of these, then you should give us exceptional. Then I can come here to say, let me even type it. Let's reference it. Exceptional. Good. Then we can close this. So if we fill this down, we should have our answer. And please, any question? Do we all
Sorry, please,
understand?
can we get the formula again? Can we get it again?
Okay.
Can we pick it up?
Okay. So let's start over again. But first, do you understand the goal?
Yes.
So the goal is if your performance should fall within any of this range, this is what you'll be categorized as. And we don't want to start coming here to say, oh, 43 falls within here. We'll say further checks. We don't want to start doing it one after the other. 53 closely monitored. We don't want to do that. We just want something that will do it for us. We'll say, okay, no problem. Then we start. We'll say, oh, equals to Mr. If. The first logical test is for us to check if this person performance is within 0 to 50. So anything less than or equal to 50, it should be further checks. So I'll say, oh, every check if this performance is less than or equal to 50%. So, comma, if this value is true, if the value I have in my performance, if it is less than or equal to 50, I want you to tell me further checks required. I'm not done. I know I still have some other things to do. I'll say, okay, comma, I want you to carry out another test. I'll say if. What's the logical test? Oh, let me check if the person's performance is between the 51 to 70. Then I can use and to say, and help me check this performance that I have here. Is it greater than 50? Greater than 50%? And I'll say, check it again. Is it less than 71? Why I'm using 71 is so that it will cater for someone that has 70.1 or 70.9. So anything less than 71, the person still fall within the range of that 51 to 70 to have that closely monitored. So I'm saying check if this guy is less than 71%. Then and will do this for me. So if this one is true, I want you to say closely monitored. I have another test to run again. I'll say, oh, if, then and let me check if what I have here is greater than or equal to 71. Check it again. If what I have here is less than 91%. 91%. If this value is true, what do I want you to do? I want you to say satisfactory. So it means if you did not meet the first one, the second one, and the third one, if you did not meet the first three, then it means you will meet the last one. So value if false. I'm saying, tell me it is exceptional. Then I hit enter. Then we fill this down. So do we understand this?
Yes.
I only have one yes. So do we all understand this?
Yes.
Okay, good. So since we said we all understand this, so I would want us to do
observations.
Okay, so
Okay, for my end, inputting the further checks required using the method that is column C and row 63. It's bringing error.
so when
That
you
is, if I
reference,
said if performance is greater less than 50.
yeah, if your performance is less than or equal to 50, comma,
Should give me that is further check.
further test.
Now that
okay.
is cell 63, that is column
C63. Yes. So
when after inputting it, so is my own command is not linking.
No, it has to link. So
I don't
first, so what version of Excel are you using?
2016.
2016 will also work. So you are saying when you type equals if your performance is less than or equal to 50%, comma, and you come here to select C3, C63.
Yeah.
So you're not having this C63.
I'm not having it. It's saying it's giving a command error.
Command error.
Like something error is displayed. I want to do the next operation.
Are you sure you've inputted your comma first before selecting the C63?
Yes, I did. Let me retry again.
Then,
Sir.
okay, good.
Thank you.
So someone here is saying, no, please repeat. That's a bit blessing. So what exactly do you want us to repeat?
Engineer Barun,
Yeah.
please. I want to ask, why is our first command not having 51%? When we others, like if somebody is falling between the category of 50.9 or 50.8,
Okay, good.
why is our command not 51%? Why is it 50%?
Okay, good. Escape. So the first is if okay, good. Thank you for so if it is less than 51%, so that if anybody that scores, we've given the second person, okay, if we do anything less than 51% here, so here it will be greater than or equal to 51%. Good. So anyone that has 50.99 will fall under further checks. So you have to be greater than or equals 51% of this. Okay. Thank you for that. Thank you. So now we've catered for everyone now. So if you have anything less than 51%, so if you have 50.99, you'll still fall under the further checks. If you are greater than or equal to 51 to less than 71, that's 69.71. That's 70.99. Okay. Then the next one is 71. Okay, good. So thank you for that. So now, can we have someone do the last one for us? So it's simple. We already know for us to get our performances actual over targets. So we can fill this down and we have been given our weight. But the condition is if your performance falls within this range, you have 20% of your weight. We have been given the weight as 10. If your performance falls within this range, you have 40% of your weight. 70 to 85.99, you have 60% of your weight. For you to be able to have your full weight, the 10%, then you must have 100% and above, or greater than 100. So can we have someone run this for us in just 2-3 minutes, so that we will know that everybody is following. So I'm expecting the feedback from Engineer Umva, Madam Ruth, Mr. Yodeji.
So please, before you expect a response from Ruth, please, I need to understand what is the achievement. Like, I don't really understand because of this weight here.
Okay.
The achievements we are looking for here.
Okay. So you have the target and actual. You know the performance. So it's like saying for you to have 10-10, for you to have 10 over 10, which is the weight, you must score above 100% in your performance. In this performance, for you to have your full complete 10, you must score greater than 100%. That's 100% of your weight. If your performance falls within the range of 86 to 100%, you would only have 80% of this 10, which is 8%. If your performance falls within the range of 70 to 89, you have 60% of this 10, which is 6. So I don't want to come here to start saying 43 falls within the range of The first one, you will score 2. The second one, 53%, you score 4. The third one, you score what? 97. 97, you score 8. Or the third one, 40%, you score 2. 73%, you score 6/10. And for this, you score your 10/10. No. For how long are we going to do this? For 50 stars, 100 stars. So we want someone to just do this for us now. So we have the if statement that will do that for us. So that at least when someone sends your performance to you, you should be able to say, oh, how did they even come about this? At least I scored 80%. Why are they giving me 4 out of my weight? So let someone give us his formula for the chat box.
87. 87. If E87 is less than or equal to T.
So do we have an answer?
Yes. Let's see.
So Madam Ruth, are you true? Engineer Oba, are you true? Mr. Yodeji, are you
I'm not
true?
true. I'm on it. I'm on it.
Okay.
I'm not true. Trying to reason it. I'm on it.
Mr. Oyeleke Victor, are you true?
I'm not sure.
So I don't want to do this for us so that at least we will know if we actually follow. So class, do we have an answer? Do we have an answer?
Kindly hold on, please.
Okay.
If
The beauty of this virtual session is we can't copy each other. So
you
we are saying equals if my performance is less than or equal to let's start from 0%. Anybody that scores 0 should not even have any intercept. The performance is less than or equal to 0%. Then what should you have? Should have 0 of your weight. So now, if we get out for 0, we cannot start again. Okay, if and my performance is greater than 0, And my performance is less than 50%. It's less than 50%. What do I want you to do? I want to have 20% of my weight. What's 20%? 0.2. 0.2 of my weight. Good. I'll say, oh, I have it. I want you to do another for me again. Check if my performance is greater than or equal to 50%. And check it again if my performance is less than 70%. It's less than 70%. What do I want you to do for me? I want you to do 40% of my weight. Up to 0.4 of my weight. Good. What's the next one? If, let me check again if my performance is what? Is greater than or equal to 70%. 70%. And check again if my performance is less than 86%. It's less than 86%. Cool. What do I want you to do for me? I want you to do 60% of my weight. 60% of my weight. Share. Yep. I'm here to receive any feedback. I know some of us are waiting for me to finish this.
Yeah, I've sent some.
And some people like us don't even know where we are. So
we need to find ourselves.
Because I missed the first day, so everything is like mirage to me here. I don't know how I can catch up.
Someone said they've said something. So let's see, where do we stop? 0.6, that's 60% of our weight. Okay, good. Then let's check again. That's if for our performance is what? Is greater than or equal to 86%. 86% and is less than or equal to 100%. Our performance is less than 100. Should we even help them? Still 100.1%. 100.1%. What should this person have? 80% of their weight. 80% of their weight. Otherwise, if we do not meet 1, 2, 3, 4, we should be able to meet the last one. You have to have 100% of your weight. So we close our parentheses. Okay, good. I think this is working. Fantastic. So what do we have in our chat box? Someone said, okay, let me copy the one for Oladayashiru. Oladayashiru gives us this. Control C. Let's paste it somewhere here. Control V. Rather, this did not work. This did not work. I have another one from Blessing. Okay, it calls this Control C. Okay. Okay. This person did. Okay. So this person. So I only have one person that scored. Did you multiply gives? If your performance is less than or equals to 49, you should have this. So it is. If your performance is greater than 70, less than, you should have. So you did not. Okay. Who is this person? Blessing, but you. So this person, 95 and 100. So we have another person saying corrected one. Mr. Gbade Ogolakin. Oh, someone says it's not working. Please let it work. Control C. That's Mr. Gbade. Let's see for Mr. Gbade before we move to Michelle. Okay, I have another person here. So if I put this in percentage, what do we have? So I only have one okay. So it's only Gbade Ogolakin. Okay. 100%. So at least I know that someone is following. So I have two people here that are, one is correct and the other person is close to the answer. So Madam Blessing, what you need to do is you need to multiply the implication.
I didn't multiply by.
Yes, thank you. So class, any other question before we move to the next? Before we move to the engineer Umba, any question? Mr. Adewale. Any question? Any question? Oh, so no question. So it means we all understand this. So the last one says, who are the least performing officers? The least performing. So we want to bring them out, we want to filter them out. So I can just use the filter function. Because filter. What do I want to filter? I want to filter the officers. I want to filter the officers to include where my achievement is equals to the minimum. the least officer equals to the minimum of the people I have here. Okay. Should be able to have the officers. Okay. I have Adewale and Deborah. Adewale and Deborah. Okay, good. So any question, please? Any question? Okay. So the next
Please
that we'll
come
be moving
again.
to.
Please come again.
Okay. So this is saying, if you look at our goal, we've done the first one, which is this, that the achievements, write an if statement to show the achievement of each officers. So Adewale scored 2% out of the 10%. Bisola 4%. So we've done the first one. So the second one is, who are the least performing officers? The list, I want to know those that score the minimum score or the minimum achievement. So, and we use a filter function. What a filter function does is it filters out an array for any value that is true. So I say, oh, help me filter out these officers anywhere that this achievement is the minimum. That's what I did. I said equals filter. The first argument is array. What do I want to filter out? I want you to filter out this for me. That's the first thing, comma. To include what? I want you to include this achievement where it says the minimum. So I'm saying, oh, let me check if it is the minimum of what I have here. That's all. And it's going to bring out the names for me. Do we understand that now? So do you understand? Any question?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much. So now we'll be moving to another function. So which are conditional functions? They are aggregate functions too. So they are the SUMIFS, AVERAGEIFS, COUNTIFS. So we have a data that we are to use for this. So this is like an HR data where we have the department, the status down to the location of each of the staffs and their hire dates. So what we want to do is using the if function. So just the way it sounds, sum if. Help me sum something if it meets this criteria. If it meets this criteria, average it for me. If it meets this criteria, count it for me. It's as simple as that. So we have sum if. Yes. So now, if you look at the argument that we have for sum if, the first argument is sum range, criteria range, then criteria. So for this sum if, there are two in our Excel. So we have the one with the S and the one without the S. So equals sum if. The one with the S and the one without the S. Or sum ifs. So the difference is just that for the sum if, it can only sum for one criterion, for one condition. But for the sum ifs, it can do for many conditions. So that's why we use some ifs. Some ifs can do what the some if will do. So some ifs is like an advance of the some if. So for today, we'll be using the some ifs. Same thing goes to the count ifs, average ifs. So our goal for today is, we have been told that we need to know the total compensation for the status by department. So if we check our data here, do we have compensation? Yes, we have compensation. So we have compensation. So let's highlight this. We have compensation. Just hold on the bits. Taking supply.
Hello, babe. Sorry, I don't call you. I did have. Sorry, I did have. I don't go work.
Just hold on a bit. We've taken supply here.
Are you around Akowonjo BU? They took
No.
supply.
I'm here at
Just
the HQ headquarters. The supply is back.
supply when supply when
Okay. Can you see my screen now?
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry, my network is fluctuating.
So we have compensation, we have department, and we have status. Okay, good. We have department. Where's our department? We have department status. Okay, good. Let me pin this event here. Okay. So if you look at what we're told to do, so we want to know the total compensation, or let's call it salary, for the people that are in account management and they're in full-time. So it has to be account management and it has to be full-time. So we want to know their compensation and want to use the sum ifs to do it. So I'm saying sum my compensation if the department is accounts and if the status is full-time. That's what I want to use the sum ifs to do. So I'm starting. Okay, let me make this easy for us. Let's share these side by side so that we can understand. So you come left and then you come to the right. I hope you can see my two screens. Okay, good. I hope you can see the two screens.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So this is the data we are given, and this is, let me zoom this a bit so that, aha, good. So we want to sum our compensation, which is this on column F, by the department, which is on column A, by the status, which is on column B. I want to use the SUMIFS. If you look at the arguments or the syntax for the SUMIFS, the first argument is the sum range. So I'm saying equals SUMIFS. So the first argument is what? The sum range. That is what I want to sum, the range of what I want to sum. Then I come here to select the range. This is what I want to sum. I've selected the range. Let me try to fix it. Good. That's the first argument. Then comma. The second argument is what? The criteria range. The criteria range. So I'm picking my department as the first one. So let me say this is my department. Within this department range, comma, was the third argument, criteria 1. Let me check for account management. Now I want to do for the second criteria. Then I'm saying, okay, criteria range 2. I'm saying, oh, go to my status. This is my status. I'm fixing this function F4, comma. What's the criteria? My criteria is full-time. And I'm fixing for full-time. Then I hit on my enter. So I should have 3 million for this. Then if I should fill this down, I should have an answer. Please, do we get this logic?
Please come again.
No.
Okay.
Please, yeah, come again, please. Thanks.
Okay. So let me open a new Control N. Let me open a new workbook. So let's zoom this. Equals SUMIFS. Equals SUMIFS. Good. So this is a syntax for SUMIFS. The first is a sum range, which is what you want to sum. So in this case, what do we want to sum? We want to sum our compensation. That's the first argument. The second argument is what? The criteria range. The criteria range is all the departments. Then the next argument is the criteria, which is out of all the departments that I've selected, I want you to do for a particular one for me, which is the criteria. Do you get that explanation?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Now, the beauty of the SUMIFS is you can do for many criteria. So the criteria will be, oh, criteria range 1, criteria 1, criteria range 2, criteria 2. So in this case, I'm saying, oh, my first criteria range is my department. Between all these departments, do for account management for me. So criteria range is all the departments. The criteria is the account management. For the status, the criteria range is all the status that we have, then the criteria will be full-time, either full-time or contract. So that's the meaning of this syntax. The first one is the sum range. What exactly do you want to sum? Which is my compensation. Criteria range. Within which department, within all the departments that I have, I want you to do for account management, which is a criteria. So now, let's go over it again. So I'm saying, let's delete this, delete. Equal SUMIFS. The first argument is what? Sum range, which is what I want to sum. I'm saying I want to sum my compensation. That's the first argument. That one is done. Comma. The next one is what? Criteria range 1. So I'm using my account, I'm using my department as a criteria range. I'm saying, oh, between all these departments that I have, criteria range 1. Between all these departments that I have, Thomas, what's the criteria to do for this department for me? Account management. Comma. The next argument is criteria range 2. I'm saying I'm coming back to my data. Between all these status that I have here, between all these status, I want you to do for full-time for me. I want you to do for full-time for me. That's all. Then I hit my enter. I should have my result. Do we understand that?
Yes.
Yes.
So someone should do the one for the contractors. So someone should do for the half-time and the hourly. So I have Mr. Biodo Blessing saying yes. Okay. So let's have a formula here in the chart. Let's see if we can have someone do this for us. So, do we have anyone? Madam Blessing, Madam Ruth, Engineer Umba, Mr. Adedeji. Mr. Biodo Blessing. We have an answer. So do we have an answer? I want someone to give us this. So do we have an answer? Someone is saying I can't find the data. The data is in the workbook. You see the data. The name is data V. So I need a response, please. Yes. So Mr. Sunday, Mr. Yodeji, Mr. Abel, Mr. Felix Akiola, Madam Sarah, Engineer Oba, Madam Ruth. So does it mean that some of us is getting this?
Yes, we are getting it. We are on track.
So for me to be sure that you are getting it. So for creative department, what's the compensation for halftime?
I'm not getting it though. Can you just try it one more time?
Okay. Equals SUMIFS. The first argument is the sum range.
See your screen.
Can you see my screen? Can you see my screen?
It's very small. Can you?
But you can just zoom it out. Zoom
It's
it.
very small. Enlarge it.
Which one? The one on the right or the one on the left?
On the right.
Is it okay like this?
No, it's still very small.
Mr. Abigani.
Yes, I'm with you.
So, please, I'd like to suggest we go on 5 minutes break. I suggest we go 5 minutes break. So, I'd like you to find the convenient stopping points so we can go on the break.
Okay, so by 11:30, we'll go on break now. So we have 6 minutes.
Thank you.
So, can you see my screen clearly now?
Yes, it's bolder now.
Okay, good. So I'm saying equal sum is, the first argument is what? The sum range. Then I'm coming here to say, oh, this is my sum range. Then comma. The next argument is what? The criteria range 1. My department is my criteria range 1. Comma. What's my criteria? My criteria is account management. Comma. The next argument is what? Criteria range 2. This is my criteria range 2. Comma. Then what's my criteria 2? My criteria 2 is the half time. Then that's for the half time. So do you understand it now? I have Mr. Abiodo Blessing. SUMIFS FF2 for contracts. Okay. So for contracts, let's copy this. Let's see if the formula would work. F2, Control A, Control V. Good. Control Enter. So you can see what you have for contracts. And I'm sure that you did not fix some cell. So look at what we have based on what you've given us. So if we have used Mr. Abiodu's blessing this thing. Oh, I did not fix it. Thank you. You know where the error is, so go and fix it. Control Z, Z. You will definitely get the recording. So it's clear that those people requesting for recordings, they are the ones that are not attentive in class. So they want to rely on the recording. So you'll definitely get record, no problem. So for hourly, we have 3 minutes to. So I want us to understand how this works before we move down to the average ifs. Madam Ruth,
I'm here.
you are not here. Oh.
No, the problem I have is I'm using my desktop for the exercise, so and I'm using my laptop for the
Okay.
So for me to in fact, I need to send what I'm getting for my own halftime is actually different from what you have. So I want to send what I did to you. So you help me check. I don't know if there's an error with what I did. So you can check for me.
Did you fix?
Yes, I did.
Your halftime? Because
yes, I did.
If you did not fix the halftime, you know, as soon as you drag down, it will move from halftime, that's cell E7 to E8. So
yes,
halftime must remain the same place it is. It is only here, that's from B8 down to B12, that needs to be relative. But for the hourly halftime, they need to be absolute.
Okay.
So for the people that was not here in the first class, I don't know how they will understand the relative and absolutes that we are saying now. So we only have 1 minute to go. So do we have an answer for hourly?
We
have an answer for hourly.
Madam Ruth.
SUMIFS, okay.
This for our halftime, please let me check before I do my hourly. I want to know where my error is.
Halftime, okay.
Yes, please.
Let me delete what I have here. Then Control V. This did not work. Okay, good. This is your halftime shape.
Yes.
F2. So do we have anyone? Okay, let me do
the
your.
value is a little bit different from what you did before previously for others.
Okay,
So I need to know
let
where
me
my
do
issue
the
is.
okay, let me do the halftime here myself. Equals SUMIFS. What do I want to sum? I want to sum my compensation. Okay, comma. What's my first criteria range? Comma. And I'm doing for account management, comma. What's the second criteria range? Is comma. And what's our this said half time? Good. So there's something wrong. So let's look at your formula. Okay. So let's go and read the formula. Sorry here. Mine is on D8. Yours is on E8. D8. And yours is on what? E8. Okay, good. You said B8. Seduce. Challenges. Okay, so come back here, please. Yes. Okay. We are summing this. So you use A3 to A473. Good. About then what's your B8? So what do we have in B8? Okay. Your B8 is relative. Then your B3 to 743. So for your B3 to for the second criteria range, you did a mixed reference. Did a mixed reference. So please let's go for a break. Let's go for a 10 minutes break. Then we'll come back.
Okay. Okay.
Hello, are we back? 11:54. Hello, class. Hello, class. Are we back? Are we back?
Yes, we are back.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yes.
So, I hope we are not saturated.
Please, can I see your screen so that I can see whether my answers are correct?
Okay. So, just delete like this. Let me delete this. F2, Control A, Control C, S8, F2, Control B, and this is for contrast. A, F2, Control Tab, F2, Control B, and this is for outside Control Tab, F2, Control Tab, F2, Control B, and this is for hourly Control Tab, F2. So this is what we have.
DFC. Please, can you come again with this hourly formula, please?
Okay. Delete. Let's do, where's our data? Is our data? Okay, good. So for our equals the SUMIFS, what our sum range? This is our sum range. Share for what's our criteria range 1? This is my criteria range 1, comma. What's my criteria 1? This is my criteria 1, comma. Criteria range 2. This is my criteria range 2. Come on. And what's my criteria 2? My criteria 2. Both. So this is what we have. So do we have Any answer that contradicts this? Do we have any answer that contradicts this, class? So the same way that we did the SUMIFS is the same way we have to do the AVERAGEIFS. So
Yes, sir, Madam.
Yes, sir.
I want to be clear. Which of the criteria are we doing absolute self-referencing? Is it the criteria range or the criteria?
Okay, thank you. So I think someone asked this question the first day, that how are we going to know the range we are to do absolute or relative? So now, just take a closer look. Let's delete this. Let's delete this. And look at the formula here, first one. If you drag this down, let's say you want to start dragging down, Shay, you will notice that for the department, you want it to move from account to creative to facility. You understand? You want it to move from account down to this to this. So you want this to be moving down. So you automatically know that your B8 will be relative. Do you understand? But while you are moving down, while you are trying to move down, you want it to remain on this full time, to remain on that same cell. You don't want it to move from full time down to the next cell to the next cell. So you know your full time will be absolute. Do you understand that logic?
Yes, sir.
So as I drag this down, it will still remain on full time because I'm saying do the compensation for creative that is for full time. Do the compensation for facility that is for full time. So full time must be, what's our full time? Our full time is C7. So if you look at C7 here, you can see that C7 is absolute here. But if you look at our B8, B8 to B9, let's do this, B8, B9, B10, they are relative because we are saying it should move down like this, but full time should remain where it is. So the same way we are going to do the average ifs. So I want us to do the average ifs. Let's see what we would have. So we'll do it each column at a time before we now say we want to do the mixed reference.
We will use that matrix.
So equals average ifs. What do we want to average? We want to average our compensation. We want it to maintain the same range. What's our criteria range? One, I want to use this time around. Let us use status as our first function. F4. What's our criteria? Full time. I want you to remain at full time. What's my criteria range? 2. I want it to be department this time around. So you must maintain this range. And what's my criteria? My criteria is account management. So I'm going to make this the relative. So on an average, I know I'm paying full time 82,000. So let's do for contract down to hourly. So with this, it is easy to say that, oh, for our contract staff on an average, we are paying them lesser than the full time. Look at this also. Let's see for our half time. The lesser than the contract, okay? Okay. And let's do for so do we have any question before we move down to counting? Class, any question? Any question, please? Okay. So for COUNTIFS is also similar to the SUMIFS and the AVERAGEIFS. The only difference is, let's bring out the COUNTIFS. Here, you don't have sum range or average range. You only have your criteria range and criterion. The range you want to count and the criteria. So here now, I want to know how many staffs are in account management that falls under full-time. So I'm using COUNTIFS. So I'm saying COUNTIFS. What's my criteria range? My criteria range is the department here. Comma. What's my criteria? Account management. What's the second criteria range? This is my second criteria range. Comma. What's my criteria? This is my criteria. So now, class, for our IT that is contract, how many do we have? Class, how many do we have for our IT that is contract? Madam Ruth, Mr. Moses Olabi. Okay, we continue. So let's do for contract. For our contract, I have this. And same thing goes to my halftime. Please, if there's anything you feel you don't understand, please you can call my attention to it. So now, and I want us to since we understand our relative cell reference and absolute cell reference, our class, so I want us to do this at once instead of us doing for each column one by one. I want us to do this at once. So can we have someone do this for us? Am I the only one in this class?
Sorry, you don't understand your question. In what aspect? I don't understand.
Okay. So if you look at what we have, what we've just done, you know that we did it a column, then we did the second column, we did the column one at a time. But what we want to do here, because we already understand how to use the absolute cell reference to relative cell reference, we just want to write one formula here so that when you drag down, it does everything for you. Then when you drag to the right, then you have your results. That's what we want to do. So if you look at it, now use the knowledge of your absolute and relative and mixed reference rather to solve these. So it is not every time that you'll be doing it column by column by column, no. Since we already know how to make use of our cell reference, so we should be able to do this. So do you understand the question now?
Yes.
Okay. So equals SUMIFS. What do I want to sum? I want to sum my compensation. So while trying to sum my compensation, you must maintain that same range. So I'm using absolute cell reference here. And the next one is what? My criteria range 1. So my criteria range 1, you must still maintain this same range, comma, my criteria 1. My criteria 1, which is my account management. So I want this to remain on column Q, but it should be able to move from Q33 to Q34 to Q35. But you must remain on that same column. So I'm fixing U on my column. So this can move from Q33 to Q34. Come on. What's my criteria range 2? That is my status. It must maintain that same status. Comma. Then what's my criteria 2? My criteria 2 is my full time. So in this scenario, I don't want you to move by row. I only want you to move by column. It should be able to move from R to S to T. So it must maintain that row 32. So I'm fixing it on row 32. Then as soon as I drag down, I have for everyone. And as soon as I go right, I have for everyone. Do we have any question, please?
Please, can you go through it again?
What exactly is it that you do not understand?
Wait, I want to ask, is it only the for the department part, that's the criteria we are talking about? That's the only one between that's the only difference between this particular one and that one. Instead of fixing all a particular cell, you actually just fixed the column alone or the row alone. Is that the only thing you altered? Every other this thing still remains the same.
Exactly. So in this case, since I know I want to move to the right. I want my column to change from column R to S to T to U. I want the column to change, but I want it to remain on row 32. So it means I am fixing it on my row and I'm throwing it on my column. But for the other one, which is the department, I want it to remain on this same column Q, but it should be able to move from row to row, from row 33 to row 34. So I'm fixing it on the column, but I'll free it on the row. So if you look at column Q, you can see the $ behind the Q, which means I'm locking it on column Q. But there is no $ behind the 33. So it means it can move from Q33 to Q34 to Q35. For the status, I want it to maintain the same row, but it should be able to move from R to S to T. So it means I'm going to lock it on the row and I'm going to fix it on the column. So you'll see that you have a $ behind the 32. You don't have a $ behind the column R. That's just the difference. But for every other ranges that we have, we are fixing the range. Do we have any question? Do we have any question? Now the response is now getting, it's somehow, the response is not coming as it used to. Class, do we have any problem with this? Where are we having our issues?
This last hello Abdulaziz. This
Yes, ma'am,
last
it's showing.
explanation you gave, moving from one column to the other, I don't understand it at all.
But do you understand the concept of mixed cell reference?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So I'll delete this. So our SUMIFS. So the first criteria is what? The first argument that we have here is what? Sum range. So what do we want to
Sum
sum?
range. The compensation.
So I come here, I've highlighted all the compensation. So I want it to maintain this same range from F3 to 743. It should maintain this same range. That's the range of my data. So I'm going to press F4, Function F4. I'm locking it both on rows and columns. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Good. I hit my comma. Then the second argument is what? The second argument is what?
The department. The criteria range 1. That's either the department or the.
Thank you. So which one should we pick? Which one are you picking first?
The department.
So the department. So I'm selecting the range of the department. So this is all our departments. It should still maintain this same range. So we are fixing for the departments, no problem. Comma. Then what's our criteria 1?
The account management.
Account management. Then we select our account management. Now, if you look at the account management that we've selected, you can see that presently it is relative. You don't have any $.
Yeah.
Good. Every other department that you have, they are on that same column Q. Are we correct?
Yes.
But they are on different rows. Are we on the same page? So you have Q33, Q34, Q35. So you know it will remain on column Q. It is just the row that is different. So which one are you locking? Which one are you releasing? Are you freeing? Hello?
You are locking the column.
We are locking the column. So function F4, press it again, F4, press it again, F4. You can see that you now have the $sign behind the column because you want it to move from Q33 to Q34 to Q35 down to Q45. We are done with that. Comma. The next argument is what? Criteria range 2. What's our criteria range 2? That's our status. We can select our status range. Good. We want it to maintain the same range. Function F4. That's solved. Comma. What's our criteria? Full time.
Full time.
So now this is full time. It is on column R32. You want it to move from R32 to S32 to T32. You want it to change column from R to S to T to U, but it will remain on that same row 32. So which one are you locking?
The row. You are locking row.
You are locking the row. So function F4, F4. So now we have locked the row. So it will remain on that row 32, but it can change from R to S. So if you drag this to the right, you have your answer. Then if you drag down, you have for every round.
Oh, so easy.
Do you understand it now?
Yes, we do.
So now, let's now do for average. Let's do for the average ifs. Let's see the formula. Let someone just paste the formula in the chat box. So do we have an answer? You know, some of us are finding it difficult to practice while listening to this. So, do we have an answer now?
Hello.
Mr. Moses Olabi, your hand is raised.
Yes. I don't have power where I am actually, and my system is shutting down already. I don't know if I can get the recording.
Yeah, sure. The recording will be sent to you.
Does he work? How does he drive? How much does he earn? I mean, these are the questions that constantly used to measure us, to judge us, and they have gradually become our identities. We struggle all our lives
So do we have someone to do this for us?
I've done this, but I'm trying to copy from my desktop so I can send it to you. But I think I'm having network issue here. I've done it, but I'm trying to send it, but the network is a little bit poor.
So this is okay. I think we already have a formula somewhere here. So let's do the same thing for our count waves. Let's use F4. This is my range. Take one. Okay. So do we have an answer? Do we have anyone that is finding it difficult to do this? Okay, so I'll take that as a yes. So if you have your Excel that is from 2021 above, if your Excel version is the latest one, then you shouldn't bother yourself over the cell reference. You can just spill this over. What's my sum range? This is my sum range. What's my criteria range? This is my criteria range. What's my criteria? I'll select all this as my criteria. What's my criteria range 2? This is my criteria range 2. And what's my criteria 2? This is my criteria 2. Then enter. This will spell it for us.
So we don't have to fix anything yet.
Yes.
Oh.
However, if you have something along the line, then you have a spill error. It's telling us that I want to spill an action, but something is blocking me. So as soon as you remove this, then you have your results. You would only be able to see your formula properly in the first place that you inputted your formula. But for the other cells, the formula will be faint. It will be ghosted. You will see it as if, oh, something is fake. If you type anything along the line, you have a spell error. So same thing goes to the average ifs and the count ifs. So do we get this before we move to the next part of the session? Any question? Do we have any question? Any question? Okay, no question.
Sorry. While trying to drag mine, okay, is it because mine is not my Excel is not above 2021? Because I'm not getting, it's giving me the div error while trying to drag it, since I did
So
not fix anything.
if you have a version below 2021, it's
Yeah.
all split between one.
Okay.
It is 2021 and above.
Okay.
So moving down to our lookups. So for the lookup, we'll be using the same data for our lookup. It's a V. We're using the same data for our lookup. So when we say VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP, XLOOKUP, lookup, should I look up the way I have again? I think that's the what that we have. We have the lookup, yes. Have the lookup. We have the VLOOKUP. We have the HLOOKUP. We have the HLOOKUP.
This, what do you press anytime you want to write this, that all these criteria will now show? Why we can see this criteria? What are you pressing?
Okay. So when you want to call out a formula, so let's say I have equals XLOOKUP. But when you enable the formula, when you double click on it or you press your tab, you know the formula is ready to accept what you want to do. When you press your Ctrl+Shift+A, then the formula will come out for you as a text. Ctrl+Shift+A. Do you get it?
Yes, let me try it, please.
Okay.
Okay, I got it. Thank you.
Okay, good. So we have our VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP, XLOOKUP, and we have lookup. So all these, what they are trying to do is just to retrieve data. Is to retrieve an information from somewhere. That's what they do. However, for the VLOOKUP, what it does is it just looks up something vertically. Same thing as the normal lookup, the lookup. For the HLOOKUP, it looks up for information horizontally. But most of the time, our data is always in the vertical form, just the way we have our data V sheets. Most of the time, our data is always in a vertical way. It's only sometimes that you always have your data the other way around. For the X lookup that you have, it is the updated version of the X lookup and the H lookup. It can look both ways, either horizontally or vertically. That's for the X lookup. So we'll be trying to use the VLOOKUP to retrieve some information. So we'll
Sorry, you
whereas
said the lookup. Lookup is for what? You said V is vertical, H is horizontal, the X is for both.
yes,
What about the lookup itself?
the lookup also looks vertically.
Okay.
Lookup won't look for you horizontal. It will look for from one row or column, then it returns a corresponding value from another range. So we'll be trying to use VLOOKUP for today. So when we say a VLOOKUP, the syntax that we have is the lookup value, which is what we want to, what do we have? Okay, yes. So we have our lookup value. Let's bring this out here. So we have our lookup value, we have our table array, we have our column index number, and we have our range lookup. So the lookup value is what you are trying to look for. What exactly do you want to look for? The table array is where you want to look for the data. So for instance, I've been given an ID. Say I have this ID. This is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for this ID. That's my lookup value. The next one is the table array. Where am I looking it up from? I'm looking it up from my data V. That's the table array. The next one is the column index number. Within the table array, what particular column do you want me to retrieve for you? So within this data array that I have, what column do you want me to return for you? Then the last argument is the range lookup, which is, oh, if I get to this particular column that you want me to return, should I return the exact match, the exact thing you want me to return? Or if I did not see it, let me return something that is close to it. That's the range lookup. So in this case, what we want to do is we want to use this staff ID to return the name, the location, down to the current location using the staff ID. How do we go about that? We call out our VLOOKUP to say, I'm looking for this ID, comma. Then the next argument, which is my table array. Then I go to my data to go and select my array. But you need to take note of these. When you are trying to select your array, your lookup value should be where your table array is starting from. Your lookup value should be where your table array is starting from. So I'm using staff ID as my lookup value. For my table array, I need to start my table array from my staff ID. Then I can now select it to the right. So I've selected this to the right. comma. The next argument is we want to return our name, which is name. So how do you now know the column index number that you want to return? If you look at your table array, let's go back to that table array. If you look at your table array, your staff ID is the first column number. The benefit is the second. Compensation is the third. Why the name is the fourth column. So here we want to return the fourth column, comma. Then the next argument is, do we need to return an approximate match or an exact match? Then I'm saying I want you to return an exact match for me. Then we hit our enter. If we fill this down, so class, why do we have NA for some of our lookup value?
Okay, that means those values are not contained in the table array.
Okay, that was one answer. I want someone again to give us another answer.
Or it's possible it's not written exactly the same way it is on the table. So we'll have done maybe an approximate match to get the answer.
Okay. So someone should look at the formula that we wrote. Is our formula correct?
Yeah, I think it's correct because if
I
it's not
got
correct,
mine. I got
it wouldn't
mine.
So I intentionally did this to know if we are following. So the formula that we have here, is it correct? Let me zoom it very well for us. So the formula we have here, is it correct? So someone should note the error for us. Someone should note the error for us.
I want to look for this. Okay, you only fixed the other side. You didn't fix everything. You didn't fix all the particular cell, the range of cell. The particular side of the cell you fixed. You didn't fix everything.
Thank you very much. So we still have one NA. Why do we have that NA?
Sorry,
You
I
don't
didn't
have
get
that
what the error
particular
was.
number.
Okay. Let's copy this, Control C. Let's come here to look for that particular number. Control F and Control V. We have it.
Yeah, I think there is a character in front of that number. If you click on the number, you see one apostrophe.
Thank you very much. So that person was careful to look at this, that, oh, why is this not seeing it? That one is a text, and every other ones that we have their number. Where we are looking up our data from, they are stored as a number. But if you look at this is a text. Thank you very much for that response. So can we know the compensation for Mr. Donor? What's the compensation for Mr. Donor? Let's see if we are following. What's the compensation for Mr. Donor?
Everything I did here.
Class.
88,150.
Money, better it is for you. And you are able to like you have increased it to 9.